One cup costs less than 15 cents, a green tea bag steeped in hot water. The other costs over $10, sometimes $40 or $50 per tin. That's matcha. Both come from the exact same tree species, the exact same leaf, yet the nutrient gap between them can reach up to 137 times. So how can the same leaf produce such a massive difference? First, let's clear something up. Matcha and green tea come from the same plant, scientifically known as Camellia sinensis. The difference isn't in the variety, unlike wine. It comes down to how the tea is grown, processed, and prepared. Matcha contains 3 key compounds that earn it the health food label. The first is epigallocatechin gallate, or EGCG for short, one of the most powerful antioxidants found in tea leaves. Oxidation happens when our metabolism and unhealthy habits produce unstable molecules called free radicals. Because they're unstable, these free radicals attack our cells, causing damage that builds up over time, accelerating aging and triggering chronic inflammation. Antioxidants work by binding to free radicals, neutralizing them before they can harm our cells. Vitamin C is one well-known antioxidant, but EGCG's antioxidant power is 100 times stronger. The second key compound is L-theanine. It's an amino acid found almost exclusively in tea leaves. In simple terms, amino acids are the building blocks of protein. Different foods and our own bodies contain different types. So what does L-theanine actually do? Once it reaches the brain, it triggers the same brainwave state we normally only experience with our eyes closed, during deep relaxation or meditation. In other words, L-theanine can trigger a state of calm focus even while we're wide awake. That's why tea ceremonies are said to cultivate the mind, and it turns out there's real science behind that claim. Finally, there's the synergy between caffeine and L-theanine. Tea contains caffeine, which keeps us alert, but caffeine's downside is a racing heart, anxiety, and jitters. This is where L-theanine steps in, creating a rare synergistic effect. Caffeine keeps you alert, L-theanine keeps you calm, and together they shield you from caffeine's side effects, leaving you in a state that's both alert and calm, instead of that wired but anxious feeling coffee often brings. On top of that, matcha has roughly half the caffeine of coffee, so when the effect wears off, the energy crash is much gentler than what you'd get from coffee. So why does matcha pack so much more nutrition than green tea? The answer comes down to 2 things. The first is how we consume it. With green tea, we throw away the tea bag, which means most of the EGCG never gets absorbed. With matcha, we're essentially eating the entire ground-up leaf, so every bit of EGCG goes straight into our body. This difference in consumption is why a bowl of matcha contains 3 to 10 times more EGCG than regular green tea. And against lower quality green tea bags, that gap can widen to as much as 137 times. The second reason is shade growing. Shaded tea leaves use sunlight to convert L-theanine into bitter-tasting catechins. Matcha is shade-grown for 3 to 4 weeks before harvest, which interrupts this conversion process, allowing large amounts of L-theanine to accumulate in the leaves. Regular green tea skips this step entirely. As a result, matcha contains 5 times more L-theanine than regular green tea. This also explains matcha's grading system. Higher L-theanine content means a smoother, sweeter flavor, ideal for drinking straight. Lower grade matcha has relatively less L-theanine, more bitterness, and works better for lattes or baking. In short, the higher the L-theanine, the higher the grade. One last thing, Matcha is extremely temperature sensitive. It's stone ground at low speed, producing only 30 to 40 grams per hour, because high-speed grinding generates heat that destroys both L-theanine and EGCG. For the same reason, matcha should be brewed with water between 70 and 85 degrees Celsius, not boiling water. Boiling water releases excessive bitter catechins that overpower L-theanine's natural sweetness, making the matcha unpleasantly bitter. So next time someone asks you the difference between matcha and green tea, you can tell them matcha has 3 to 10 times more EGCG, 5 times more L-theanine, and a rare synergy effect found almost nowhere else in nature. Let us know in the comments, are you team matcha or team green tea? And any brand recommendations?